Welcome to Sustainable Seafood Week. I'm Cheryl Dahl, founder and executive director of Future of Fish. Thanks for participating in the Dine Out program. We're excited to have you on board. Sustainable Seafood Week is a culinary-fueled celebration showcasing fishermen, chefs, organizations, and communities working to promote responsible sourcing of seafood. This video will introduce the information you need to be able to tell great stories about your fish dish to your diners and staff. Let's dive in. What seafood questions should we expect? First off, let's start with the basics. Is this fish sustainable? Well, what do we even mean by sustainable? To our friends at the National Marine Fisheries Service, sustainability means ensuring that there are enough fish to feed and support the livelihoods of people now and in years to come. Today, many industries, from fashion to fuel, are focused on sustainability and define it in different ways. But when it comes to fish, it's the entire journey of the fish that really matters. Where is this fish from? Is it local? That question can be answered by geographic region or even by the name of the boat that caught the fish. Not all parts of the ocean are equal. Some habitats are critical breeding or feeding grounds, while others are the only home to an endangered species. Relationships with trusted fishermen and suppliers are invaluable to ensuring species are caught from open, legal fishing grounds. We have a preference for local and U.S. seafood because it is easier to know the story, its carbon footprint is often lower, it supports our economy, and overall, the management structure is sound. But that's not to say you should avoid some international seafood that comes from sustainable fisheries with good transparency. When talking about where a fish is from, we like to use the term storied fish. Storied fish can be any seafood products that come with detailed stories of a journey from water to plate. If you're purchasing fish, thinking in terms of story helps you as a buyer ensure you're getting all the information you need from your supplier to source responsibly. But it's more than just the facts. By telling the story behind the fish, diners can connect to where the fish came from, the community that caught it, and how it arrived on the plate. What kind of fish is this? You should know the name of the fish and, when possible, alternative market names that it's sold under. You also might have handy the name of a similar, perhaps more popular fish that could be similar in texture, flavor, or quality. While this question sounds like a simple one, you've probably heard that mislabeled or illegally caught seafood often makes its way onto our plates. And according to recent reports, up to a third of all seafood is mislabeled. Seafood fraud exists because the way seafood is processed and distributed, especially in many foreign fisheries, remains invisible to the buyer. Poor documentation makes it impossible to trace a fish back to the country where it was caught or the boat that caught it. Traceable, transparent supply chains are those with technology and monitoring systems capable of tracking seafood through the whole chain of custody. Transparency and traceability allow for better sustainability. Why is this fish a good choice? There's no need to bombard diners with a novel's worth of information. You can start with just one key fact. This is a great opportunity for story. Perhaps it is caught by a fisherman you know and trust, or maybe it grows really fast, has a high reproductive rate, and a stable population size. Here are a few concepts that contribute to making a good fish choice. Species. In general, eating fish lower down on the food chain tends to be a more responsible choice, though there are exceptions. Creating markets for these fish both helps the ecosystem and it helps the fishermen get the most value out of their effort. Legal limits. In the U.S., managers work with scientists, fishermen, and other industry stakeholders to set a limit, called a quota, for how many fish can be caught over a season or a year. Well-managed fisheries have resources to enforce these limits and prevent overfishing. Overfishing means that we're harvesting too quickly. The rate of fishing is too high. This can lead to a fishery becoming overfished, which means that the population is too low. Think of it like a bank account. Ideally, we harvest only the interest every year, leaving the principal to generate the next year's interest or catch. A population is overfished when the principal is too low to generate enough interest to support the fishery. Are all farmed fish bad? There are many kinds of aquaculture, and some provide responsible, eco-friendly seafood. More than half the fish eaten in the world is farm-raised. There's just not enough wild-caught fish to feed everyone. Raising responsible fish all depends on what species is raised, its diet, and the tank system or ocean farm design. How was this fish caught? Some forms of fishing are more destructive and wasteful than others. Fishwatch.gov provides some information here, but there are some specific points you can talk about. Gear. A fisherman can use many types of gear: nets, lines, pots, dredges, or traps, just to name a few. To protect a fishery's sustainability, managers can divide quota among gear types, restrict certain gear types from certain areas, or require minimum standards. Season. Just like produce, fish have a season when it's best to harvest. Fish need time to migrate to get to fertile feeding grounds, spawn to make next year's fish, or be around for other fish to eat. Ensuring that your seafood selections happen during the appropriate season is critical. Bycatch. Responsible fishermen also aim to minimize bycatch. Bycatch is unintentionally harvested species that are caught along with the target species. They are waste for the fishermen and an overall loss for the ecosystem. For this reason, fishermen and managers try to reduce bycatch, avoid it, or find someone willing to buy it. Thanks for participating in Dine Out for Sustainable Seafood Week. Be sure to tweet about your sustainable seafood dish to spread the word and show us what you're serving up.